Crop Talk on Market Journal is supported by Nebraska's soybean farmers and their checkoff. Finally today, just as fields are drying down and harvest was nearing, the first case of a soybean field infested with soybean tentiform Leafminer was confirmed here in the Cornhusker State in late September. While there isn't too much for cause of concern at this point, it is a good idea for producers to familiarize themselves with this new arrival. And to do just that, Market Journal's Bill Dodd is standing by with this story.
Earlier this year, soybean tentiform Leafminer was found in Madison County. However, Nebraska producers and researchers don't have much information on this particular defoliating pest. The first reports of the Leafminer came from 2 counties near the Twin Cities metro area in Minnesota back in 2021, and with this new arrival, we're learning all we can with the assistance of the University of Minnesota.
Right now, the good part for us is the University of Minnesota has been doing a lot of the biology and life cycle work. It's not all released quite yet, but it is coming very soon, so we will have that to work with. That's that sharing of knowledge piece that's so incredibly important. Having the know who to contact let us identify and confirm that pest very quickly, so I had that answer back that Friday. That's how fast that turned around in terms of getting that identified. So this pest has only been found in Minnesota, South Dakota, North Dakota, and now Nebraska. Nebraska is the most recent find. There were no finds in 2023 for new states, but Nebraska is the new one for 2024. I've not heard if there's been any others, but at the time when I was talking to Dr. Cook, we were the only one for 2024 for adding a new state. So there will be some efforts with specialists here at the university. I plan on jumping on board with this too in terms of future collaborations as we move forward with this pest.
As we know very little about this pest currently, no one should hit the panic button by any means. While this pest has shown the ability to create an economic impact on crops in Minnesota, an infestation doesn't necessarily mean drastic loss in yield. However, it's something producers should be aware of.
In terms of economic impact, we're not really sure how that's going to play out. We have one field that we found at the end of the growing season. There's been mixed impacts in Minnesota. They can cause some yield reduction, they can also not. They're a little interesting because they kind of act like a defoliator, and we're used to seeing things chew on soybean leaves here. These are a little different because they chew on the undersides in between the leaf layers. So they don't remove the entire surface of the leaf from top to bottom, just on that underside. So it's kind of like a defoliator situation, but it's a little bit different. And the Leafminer name, yeah, as that name implies, the egg is laid and then that caterpillar tunnels up through between the leaves towards the bottom side of that leaf. So there's the upper layer, the bottom layer, and you see this white patch on the underside of the leaf. Starts out as a serpentine mine, so it looks like a snake wandering through the leaf, small and white. And then as that larva grows, it turns into more of a blotch. And then later, it starts to feed on a little bit more of that upper level tissue towards that upper leaf surface, and it causes it to pucker. And it almost looks like a Civil War era tent for a soldier with that angles and the point up with the old pole tent there. So that's kind of where it gets the name, tentiform Leafminer, so think of it like a tent, and those are on the underside. What we do know in terms of biology is that it's going to be multiple generations per year, so those mines can accumulate over the growing season. So towards the end of the year, it looks a lot worse than when they get started. And then just one note, this is a native insect. It very well could be here in Nebraska for a long time, and no one's found it or reported it. It's from American hog peanut and sickle seed fuzzy bean. I know it sounds funny, but that's what they're named. They are 2 plants in the legume family. Both of them are annuals, just like soybean is. Both of them have a trifoliate leaf, just like soybean. So there's some similarities there and closely related plant species.
The sighting of tentiform Leafminers in Nebraska soybean fields could have gone unrecognized if not for the quick thinking of one Madison County producer. When this pest was spotted, a quick call to his local extension education center got the ball rolling on its identification, and plans are now in place to keep close tabs on any further spread throughout Nebraska.
We got permission to go out to the producer's field, which was slated to be, this is Friday afternoon, and it's slated to be harvested next week. So this was down by the wire, And we get out there, and sure enough, even though we're missing about 80–90% of the leaves on the plants, we're able to find it pretty readily. Extension is a great resource. If the person you contact doesn't know, odds are they know who to contact to get you that answer that you need. It doesn't matter whether it's crop production, livestock production, it's all something that we can generally help with or get you pointed in the right direction when you need some information like this. For the next growing season, I think it's just going to be trying to map out where this thing is. We know it's in Madison County. It wasn't like it was just a plant here or there. There were plenty of plants that were hit. So it's going to be a matter of mapping out where across the state that this has been found. And if you do find it as a producer or an agronomist, report that in. Pictures, this is fairly easy to identify, especially when the larvae are in the later stages, and that mine is very easy to tell what it is. So that's going to be the big thing, is reporting that into the extension system so we know where we can find it.
While there are currently no known management methods for this insect, growing season surveys of soybean fields will be a high priority for Nebraska Extension researchers heading into the 2025 growing season. Reporting for Market Journal, I'm Bill Dodd.